Welcome back. This is Comics on TV. To my left, I have my, the best way to say it is my Star Wars expert here on that hashtag show, Ro.
I don't know about expert. I'm just a resident Star Wars guy.
All right, fine. And Mr. Spoiler himself, Joseph.
I don't spoil anything.
Oh, no, you don't at all. No, he'll spoil something by the end of this episode. But, yeah, that's...
People would love the Star Wars spoilers.
Right?
Me and Bro talk about them all the time.
Yeah,
actually.
exactly.
Oh,
so,
God,
will we
wait
get
till
something?
we confirm this next thing we're talking about.
Can I get anything out of you for
Not
this
today.
episode? No? Fine. Thanks, guys. Thanks.
A little. We'll drop a little.
A
We'll
little
drop
bit?
little hints.
All right, cool. Thanks. I appreciate that. So, let's get down to it. Twilight of the Apprentice, a.k.a. Thanks for making me blind, Ezra. This episode was great.
Not
Everything
Ezra.
about it. Well,
Kanan.
Ezra made pretty much because he was like, all right, I'm going to go ahead and roll with Darth Maul.
Oh, by the way, spoilers.
If you haven't seen...
Should there ever be spoilers written across for a show that we're talking about, reviewing, pretty much breaking down something? Spoilers.
Yeah.
Put it across the screen if you can. Spoilers. I made somebody do that last time. So, spoilers. Let's go right into it. Favorite parts?
Oh, for me, my absolute favorite part, there's a lot of them, but if I had to pick one, it'd be the montage when the music kicks in at the very end of the episode and the setting up of various story arcs and cliffhangers.
For everyone.
It sent my brain into a spin, and I was thinking about it, and I had to immediately watch it a second time because of that.
It was cinematic. It was very cinematic.
Very.
And like you said, it set up. It just pointed out like story arcs for
They didn't
every
pull
one
any
of them.
punches
No,
from
they
the
didn't.
music to the animation to the emotion of the characters to the darkness of this to the way they just set up certain cliffhangers. It was perfect in my opinion.
Good job. I agree.
You know what? It's hard to say because episode from top to bottom was so good.
Yeah.
But like, just you were saying that, I was thinking about it, and the part where Ahsoka kind of fights Darth Vader, and then she cuts off a part of his mask, and he just looks and says, "Ahsoka," and then I will kill you, and it's like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Like that left me on a cliffhanger.
Well, he says, she says, "I won't leave you."
I won't
And he
leave you.
says,
Yeah.
"Well, then you will die here."
Yeah, then
and it's like, God, man.
That just proved that Anakin is completely gone.
But he says it. I've
Do you
killed
think so?
Anakin.
At this point?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, even shortly after the episode, Filoni had some interviews out there with the show creator, writer / exec EP, whatever. Filoni was saying that he wanted to make sure people know that this is full Darth Vader at this point, and that we don't get any bit of him back until he meets Luke. He felt that
makes sense.
If Ahsoka could pull something out of him, it would soften the character by the time he gets to Luke.
That's
so he
awesome.
made sure that this was Darth Vader at his
I was going to
fullest.
ask you, I don't know if you know the answer to this or not. Do you know if they got Matt Lanter back to do the voice of Vader?
No, I don't know.
When he says that?
I don't know.
Matt Lanter was the voice of him in Clone Wars. That's why I was just curious.
Yeah.
Just for that one part, because
that
it didn't
one
sound
part,
like
I
James
haven't-
Earl Jones.
No, I have no idea who did the voice on that particular line.
It's interesting to me.
Man, I mean,
Yeah.
well, the episode was great in every bit, every way. Let's talk about some of the things that we can expect as far as coming through the next seasons, or at least ideas. Of
Well,
what
there's
you would like
nothing.
to
I don't
expect.
think there's anything you can expect at this point. I mean, I didn't expect.
Kanan
and once
to get
again,
stabbed in the face?
In the face. I literally jumped and go, "Whoa! What the hell did I just see?" I mean, Darth Maul just took Kanan's eyes. This is a Disney show. I was not expecting.
Dude,
that.
I didn't expect Darth Maul to kill the Inquisitor like straight
Yeah.
up in front of
In front
Ezra.
of Ezra too.
Yeah.
Like, man, I didn't like, because you saw her smirk where she was like, it's not gonna happen, and Darth Maul was like, oh, it's happening, and just
Yeah.
chucked it at her.
There was a couple of
Man.
moments. So I don't think there's anything you can expect, but one thing that I love to bring up, and we've been talking about this for a few months, is when, and we said it first.
Yes,
We did say
that's
it.
true.
We did say it first. When that final scene of Ezra
holding the
Sith holocron proves that he will turn. There's no way he could ever become
It's
a
Dark
Jedi.
Ezra. It's Dark Ezra. We talk about it how many times on this show,
Yeah.
but it's Dark Ezra.
Well, the big rumor is that we are going to see Ezra again in Episode 8.
As played by
Benicio del Toro. And we've been calling that because we do know that Benicio Toro was handed sides that had the name Ezra, which 9 out of 10 times might not mean anything.
Yeah.
But this episode has almost confirmed everything we've been saying about that rumor up until this point.
So
You can almost see the snowball effect. Because at first when I brought it up to Ro, it was more like, what are you talking about?
Right.
And then as more and more we started seeing Rebels, it's like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
This is like, it's like an onion, peeling an
Yes.
onion.
Right.
Just peeling back the different layers, and we're like, wow, this actually might be happening.
Right.
So do you think we're going to get a season 4?
I don't know. So after season 1 of Rebels, they came right out and said, Disney said, we have renewed Rebels for season 2 and 3. Now, season 2 has become much more popular than season 1, and they haven't said anything about continuing past season 3.
Okay.
So it feels like it might be a complete arc between 1 and 3.
Okay.
But it's interesting because we were talking off air about this. Season 1, I felt that. Help me with her name real quick. We were just talking about
Sabine
her.
Wren.
Sabine Wren. So we were just talking about her,
Yeah.
how powerful of a strong female character she was.
Oh, yeah.
The first season. Then you got The Force Awakens came out. It was about Rey.
Right.
So I get it. I understand that. But it seems like in the second season, she took a complete back seat to everything else.
I can only think of maybe one episode that featured her in the last 6.
Well,
I
she
mean,
had only one episode that featured
Yeah.
in the last 6.
Yeah.
Her and her sister, right?
Right. Well,
Yeah.
it was.
Which
I don't
was
know
a
if it
good
her
episode.
actual
It
sister,
was.
but it was
Oh, well, yeah, not
her
yeah,
sister,
yeah,
her bounty hunter sister,
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah.
I think they're setting her up for an eventual spinoff.
I hope so. She was definitely in season 1 was my favorite character, the one I was most intrigued by.
So can you guys, I can't say confirm or deny, but do you guys think that it's a pretty strong option that, well, we won't see a season 4, but what we'll see is either Star Wars Rebels or like Rebels, either the Kanan Chronicles
Well, you know what?
Sabine.
Yeah.
Wren's
Disney's
story.
been doing this weird thing lately, and I don't know if you guys have noticed this. Now, do you guys know the Avengers cartoon, Earth's Might? It's not Earth's Mightiest Heroes, but it's called
the new
Avengers
one,
Assemble.
Avengers Assemble.
Right.
It's not called that anymore.
No, it's Age of Ultron. Well,
It's
doing
Avengers Ultron Revelations.
Well, they're doing what animes have done. They're doing what like
right. So
other
I
people have
think-
started to
I
take
think that
acceptance
come
of.
season 4, we'll get Star Wars Rebels Ahsoka, or I'm not Ahsoka,
Yeah,
but
but-
Yeah,
it's
something.
Sabine
It'd
or
be
something.
Rebels, the Sabine
Right,
characters,
that's
Rebels,
right.
Master Kanan,
Well, I
whatever.
I think
you
we'll
know.
start
Do you
moving
think-
into that territory.
Do you think that this could be something that they're looking to play with as far as when it comes to the
live
Netflix
action
series?
Well, there's a few things here, and Ro and I have talked about this in depth a lot. And one is the Netflix series. So we
Right.
know that Star Wars and Netflix are thinking about there's like three series.
They talked about 3 series for Netflix.
Right. So we've come up with a few of the things that could be possible. One of them is definitely Star Wars Underworld.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's because there's already, I think there's like 60 scripts done, or some a crazy amount of
The
scripts already
development
done.
for that show, all the pre-production for that show was completed.
Yeah. So that's a given. If you're going to put any money into something, put it into that, because it's almost already done.
Yeah.
And now we're thinking, like taking a step back, we're thinking, well, Darth Maul.
Man, I was thinking like, okay, when you guys were talking just now, I was like, could we finally have something with Darth Maul? I mean, we saw we saw the big reaction to the April Fool's prank.
Right.
And that was like, people were like, yes, please, give me this.
Actually, what's interesting is that when we did our top 5 possible Netflix Star Wars lists or whatever, I think we had Darth Maul at number 1 because people have been wanting more Darth Maul for a very long time.
I mean, I think we should give the people what they want. That's what I'm thinking.
Well, then,
Disney
but
should
see,
do.
the one thing I think is so smart about this, how the way this ended, is that it's kind of like a UFC fight. You're seeing 2 trainers fight.
Yeah.
And you got the champion who's like Darth Vader, and you got this up and comer like Darth Maul, and they want to see the fight. I think we're gonna finally see.
That was so great with Maul saying, like, where at that moment he turns around and he says, "Oh, you mean my apprentice?"
Right.
And I was like,
That was great.
Mic drop right there. That was it for me.
Well, for me, I think the mic drop was the at the very end of the episode, Kanan's holding that thing.
Not Kanan.
I'm sorry, Ezra's holding that thing.
Yeah.
The Sith holocron.
The Sith holocron, and his eyes
Just looks
turn
up,
red.
just for a second.
Again, brings
Where
back
are we
the-
going?
Yeah. No, I
Where
mean
are we
it's
going?
there's a lot of possibilities here, and they created a lot of intriguing ideas from the Darth Maul character. What's happening with Ahsoka, and there's a lot of rumors that a couple years from now, not immediately, but a few years from now, we are going to see some more Ahsoka stories. We don't.
Whoa,
That was confirmed.
I didn't know
And-
that. So we're not even talking in the immediate future that we're going to
No,
see
David
Ahsoka.
Filoni said that story has not ended. We see her walking into the Sith temple at the very end. We just see a little thing, but if you zoom in, I've seen some zoomed up photos. It's 100%
People
her.
were saying, okay, yeah, it's her. It's
She
her.
walks into it. They say her story is done for now, but there is a story planned for her. The way they made it sound was we're not going to see the story for a while.
So we got to think about where everything is stopped right now and where it's all leading up. So we know that we're going to get a season 3 of Rebels. That has to tie. We're assuming that ties into Rogue One.
Right.
Some part of this is going to tie into Rogue One.
Right.
Now, if we're talking with Ezra, we're talking episode 8.
Some part of that might tie into episode 8.
And now with
And then
Ahsoka,
years down the line.
well, this can
And
also be a
blind-
Netflix
Now
thing.
we also have a
Exactly.
blind Kanan,
Which is great.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many. They've taken every character into another level.
And how's the
They
rest
have.
of this team going to react? Because the other characters we didn't really get to see, how are they all going to feel about
Well,
it?
that's why it was interesting to see them just when they're landing and everyone just their facial expressions just on reaction.
I
to seeing
mean, we
what's
all,
happening,
the
where
thing
are
I
they
care
now.
about the most is what does Chopper think?
Really, you're gonna.
So, Danny, your line should be like, let's
So
get
we
in.
don't even have to intro. We're just gonna.
Well, talking about more Maul. I mean,
Yeah,
Maul's
yeah.
entrance was great, but let's talk about some entrances. Or I could be like, yeah, Maul
Well, that was
Maul
it.
was great, blah blah.
Just-
But let's talk. Okay, let's
Yeah.
talk about some entrances. All right.
Yeah, we're rolling.
Yeah, I'm rolling. Just I don't know, whatever you want him to do.
Yeah, just lead it. Just
Okay.
kick it off.
we're
Like,
good. Okay. Talking about entrances, guys. Okay.
Well, there's
How
a couple-
badass was Vader's entrance?
on top of the X-wing, just kind of coming in with.
Seriously,
That was like a straight bomb.
Dude, it is Star Wars version of Ghost riding the whip.
See,
That's literally what it was. He
Here's
was
the
like,
interesting- we haven't actually seen a lot of Vader time in Star Wars Rebels,
No.
but every time they bring Vader in, they do something special. Whether it was the way he basically destroyed an entire fleet,
oh yeah, that's right.
But I think
handedly,
they have to do that, though.
or the way he lifted an entire
It's-
spaceship.
Spaceship,
off
yeah,
of it.
that's right.
It's like the same thing when I see Yoda
Yeah.
in Rebels. It's like it's more important because I don't see him all that often.
That's
They
true.
make him a monster every time. Like
Love
whether
it.
it's a monstrous entrance or just monstrous skill, they really let you know that Vader is the motherfucker of this thing.
Seriously, Vader's a badass, and no
Yeah.
matter how you do it, hands down, you're like, oh well, great, here goes the fight. Like when he shows up on top of the X-wing, and not X-wing, on top of the TIE Fighter.
Fighter.
And Ezra looks up, and I was like, oh, Ezra dies now? Like I was like, no, I need to see him become Benicio
Did you
del
think
Toro.
anybody was gonna die?
Actually,
Yeah.
I said I need someone to die, but I kept seeing like more Inquisitors die, and I was like, that's one Inquisitor, two
I thought it
Inquisitors,
was
three. I was like,
Kanan.
nope, everyone's gonna live.
I thought it was gonna be Ahsoka.
Oh,
thought it
would
was
make
Her
the most
story,
sense.
her story
Because
is complete.
When the
Essentially.
when the weapon was activated and you just see Vader barely surviving that,
Yeah.
kind of just walking out. I was like, oh, so Vader's the only one walking out. I thought she was dead, and then I was like,
man.
I didn't catch it at first. I just saw the little figure disappear. I was like,
Oh, I saw it.
That must have been Ahsoka. Like I was like,
And it
I had
definitely
to
was.
rewind, and I was like, oh yeah,
And it definitely was, but you notice Vader's limping.
yeah.
Ahsoka, straight stride, right into the temple. No problem. Like, it was just like, all right, I'm in.
Like
And
that
was it.
Ahsoka doesn't consider herself a Jedi either.
Yeah.
I love that moment where he was like, oh, well, that's not something Jedis do. And she was like, I'm not a Jedi.
Yeah.
I cheered at that moment, literally, twice.
But that her saying that changes the fact that she can live on. Like
Yeah.
because I thought that when she got in
You're
the
talking about
previous
from the
episode,
Order 66 stuff?
Yeah, because we have to assume again. I always bring this up. We have to assume that by the time Empire Strikes Back comes and Yoda said that there's only one. There's only one more. We have to assume that everyone is dead at that point.
Right.
But the way she sets, they set it up. She could still be in exile or something. She's not a Jedi. Her death is not mandatory to state for canon purposes at this point.
That's true.
Man, that's
actually
true.
really
So,
smart. They
yeah.
wrote themselves out of that.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's good.
So
Yeah.
they actually gave us this way in that lets us know that, hey, you know what? We may actually see her
So-
in the films.
And speaking of entrances, I know that's what we were talking about.
Darth Maul, man.
There you
'Cause
go.
you know what? I forgot the trailer that I saw, and I forgot that he was in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I saw him. I was like, wait, is that Darth Maul? And I
mean,
was
right
like,
off
this
the-
is fucking awesome.
Right off
Yeah.
the bat, he has a little shroud on, and he's like walking over there, and then you see the tats, and you're like, "Oh,
But I
know who it
like
is."
the fact that he
But
came
didn't.
out almost like this helpless old man of
Yeah.
like, I need.
see,
What a
the
And I was
con
buying
man.
it. I was like, oh, maybe he is kind of beaten down.
That's what I
at this
thought.
No, but
point.
see, the thing is, you guys have to pay attention. He didn't lie to Ezra at all.
have to pay
I'm just saying,
attention.
he didn't lie to Ezra at all. When
Yeah.
Ezra, every time, if Ezra had something and he was like,
Yeah.
well, wait, so you're Sith. And he was like, well, this is what the Sith did to me. He didn't say, like, okay,
That's what
I'm
makes
not a
him
Sith.
so
like,
complicated
Layered,
now.
I love
it's
it.
great.
I even
He,
told Rowan text message. I was like, if if Darth Maul told me this, I'd follow him too.
Here's the thing. He doesn't care about the rebellion. He doesn't care about the Empire. He doesn't care about Palpatine. He doesn't care about Luke Skywalker.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't care about Obi-Wan Kenobi, his adversary. He wants everything to die.
Well,
he wants to destroy everything.
He does. That's why he went ahead and tried to turn on the weapon,
Yeah.
or even start it up. But I mean, like, this goes into the canon thing. I know I slightly spoke about it off air, but like the Son of Dathomir, that whole storyline was him all about revenge. He was just like, all right, I need to find who did something and kill each and every person. Ultimately, still, nonetheless,
just occurred to me. He's going to have to come back after Ezra because of the holocron.
Oh, yeah.
He needs the holocron,
Of course,
to reactivate the weapon
Yeah.
to do it, initiate his plan. So,
that's right. But
I mean, and plus he called him his apprentice, so he's
See,
not done
we're
with it.
coming to a
Exactly.
season 3 crescendo, which is going to be Darth Vader, Darth Maul, Ezra. Kanan's going to want his revenge. There's going to be a huge like battle royale of Star Wars characters coming in season 3.
God,
think
that's
so.
true. Speculations, good battles that you're looking forward to.
Ezra against Kanan.
That's what I'm hoping.
And I
want
think
to see that so bad.
I can't remember if it was this episode or the episode before it. It might have been this episode. Where I think the prelude was that they were training, and
Yep.
Sabine says, "Oh, you guys are getting good," and
Yeah.
and one of them, I think it was Ezra's like, "What were you saying? We weren't good before." And I think that training scene is almost a prelude because you saw their
I think-
abilities are pretty.
I have a
matched.
little. Here's what I kind of feel is going to happen. I think Kanan is going to go to another level.
I think so too.
He's going to go to another level, and I think his pursuit to keep Ezra from turning is going to fail, and that his death is going to come at the hands of Vader or the Emperor. I feel like Kanan might be killed by the Emperor in the last ditch attempt to save Ezra, and that's when Ezra turns.
I think
when there's
Kanan might
nothing
be
left
killed
for
by Ezra.
to live for.
I mean,
Because there has to be a significance of him being blind now.
Okay.
This has to play into it. I just don't want a bunch of episodes about him like kind of moping around about being blind.
I don't think you will.
No. I don't
Kanan's
think
not
we'll
that
get
guy.
that either.
Kanan's not that guy.
No.
So I don't think that will happen. But I mean, a lot of things do line up for everything that we see. One, Inquisitors are gone. I mean, almost all of them are dead now. I think
we don't know how
the
many
one-
more there are.
Yeah, that's true because the answer wasn't really given. They just
never
said
given.
enough
Can he
for you two
can
to
Kanan
handle.
become someone else? Can he become
An Inquisitor or another Jedi or something?
something else completely? I mean, can he be? Can he? I don't know. I don't
Lobot,
know.
maybe?
What?
Just kidding. I'm just
I
joking.
know a lot of people were like, once he went blind, people were like, oh my God. They're kind of referencing The Force Unleashed, but I don't think so at all.
Yeah.
I mean, because that would be suicide.
You know,
ultimately to do for a
At
story.
WonderCon weekend, we had a really good conversation about Knights of the Old Republic.
Oh.
Are you familiar with the game?
Okay,
Ron?
all right.
Not too familiar with.
So
the game other
apparently, one of the people we were with, they said that that's one of the biggest plot twists in any video games
yeah.
ever, and they wouldn't even tell us.
Yeah.
But I'm doing some research. Apparently, for you guys that have played it, it is a really big plot twist.
Right.
I think that they're gonna move that into this. Like, I think that we're gonna get. You got to think about this is one episode in the finale of season 2.
Okay.
It already had so many plot twists in
Yeah,
it
definitely.
Yeah.
that it wasn't the episode that I was expecting going into, and coming out of it, I was like, okay, when does this new season start? I gotta
Yeah,
watch
like
this
I'm
now.
already. I'm like, all right, how can I set a DVR for something that hasn't happened?
I
yet?
legitimately
need it
had to
now.
watch it twice back to back, and I was like, dude, this is amazing.
Yeah.
I've seen it 3 times so far, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna see it again after this, literally.
Hitting
I'm
on
probably gonna watch it after this conversation just to dig even deeper, see if there's
Oh my
any
God.
Easter. I haven't
Seriously.
scoured the internet
That's what
yet for
yeah.
Easter eggs
Neither
in
have
the
I.
episode.
Neither have I.
Are you gonna do a podcast about this? Also?
Probably have to call up some homies, some heavy hitters, and get deeper into this.
Okay, I need to be there for that, or I need to hear it. I need to hear it at least.
Yeah.
That's
And
all
then
I
we
need.
also got to the thing is, and maybe Rebels wasn't set up to tie into. I mean, maybe it wasn't set up as to tie into the bigger picture in terms of like maybe it was supposed to be its own thing. 'Cause this is a really good story on its own.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
But
That's
even
true.
if it is set up to tie up things, that's
Yeah.
what I'm really looking forward to.
No, I think we can
Whoa.
definitely expect some new books though, for sure. At the very least, right now, in the immediate future, before the next season of Rebel stuff, I think this summer we're gonna see a couple new books.
What are you got? Any predictions for Rogue One? I got a few.
Rogue One. Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah. I guess I don't have any strong convictions about it, other than I think we are going to see Sabine Wren.
Okay, so one thing that we touched on was Star Wars Underworld being a Netflix series, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I think that a lot of these main characters are going to be bounty hunters or not affiliated with the Rebels or the Empire. I think what's going to happen is these are going to be pretty much like guys that are outside source guys hired to steal the Death Star plans. It's almost like a Black Ops in terms of.
Wow,
like,
that just made me think of something.
Like,
Death Watch.
well, that's what we were talking about earlier.
well,
Yeah.
Death Watch and still how they're also connected still to Darth Maul. So now with that, just bringing
Well,
up,
we know Vader's going to be in Rogue One, but I don't think we're going to see Maul at all.
Well-
I mean, they can't bring it. There's no Jedi in Rogue One. So I
That's
don't
right.
expect to see more than just Vader as a villain.
okay,
But
well,
Death Watch, I mean, leadership can change hands.
that's very true. I mean, that's very true.
Yeah.
It was easy the way it happened in Clone Wars. So
We might be onto something.
I don't know.
You think so?
The only thing that I'm expecting to see and is, like I said, I think we're going to see Sabine Wren. I'm not entirely convinced that Felicity Jones is not Sabine Wren at
Oh,
this
for
point
sure
in
we'll
time.
see Chopper too, 100%.
And Chopper's new buddy. What was that? The
that
droid?
he's cool. He's
Yeah.
cool. Pretty much the Alan Rickman almost
Right.
kind of guy.
Yeah.
He was an homage to Alan Rickman. I don't care what
Very
anybody
much
says.
so. Very much so.
Yeah, but I'd like to see that.
But he's a strategy droid, and I kind of see that droid coming into play.
But I think that's why they
Oh,
introduced
especially
it. To be honest
I
with you.
think so, and how he'll actually come into play in
And
Rogue
because
One.
they need somebody to play off a Chopper, I
Right.
believe. But
No, yeah, really, yeah.
well, no, I mean they do. Chopper is this little sassy robot, man, with a sassy droid. But I think that with Rogue One,
hate
it's
him.
setting
I hate
up.
him so much.
I think we're starting to see the setup here now,
Yeah.
and I think we're gonna finally start. It's laying the groundwork, obviously,
Yeah.
For a few things.
for a few things.
Yeah.
I mean, not for the whole big picture,
I
but
think
it's
like-
definitely some of
It's
it.
laying groundwork for Rogue One. It's laying groundwork for possibly Netflix. It's laying groundwork for possibly episode.
Well,
8.
that's the thing, because I think that the Rogue One is laying the groundwork for Underworld,
Yeah.
which could
Oh,
be the
I
Rebel
think
show.
so. I think so.
And it's all tying together. And this is the great thing that I think Star Wars is doing better than DC and Marvel, is that they are making their franchises connect
it's-
better.
Yeah. Their
It's,
canon, their canon is not too convoluted yet.
Exactly.
That's true. That's exactly.
Since they got rid of the EU,
And their
Exactly.
comic books too. Like I read the Kanan miniseries, and I was like, dude, this is really good.
Yeah.
And it actually does tie in, and it fits perfectly with the show.
Yeah, I agree. It's like you said, their world building is become now a universe established,
Right.
and it's just continuing. There's no stopping.
Bro, you did a great countdown for some spin-offs you wanted to see.
yeah.
Tatooine,
definitely.
Tatooine Drift.
That's yeah,
You wanted to see that.
yeah.
Ahsoka, Tano, I was young and needed the money. Or
I was young and needed the money. There was what was the
Mandalorian
Eldoranian candidate?
No, I thought it was a
Eldoranian
Eldoranian candidate.
I
For
thought it was a
the-
Mandalorian candidate.
No, it was the
Okay.
Eldoranian candidate starring Bail Organa.
Bill Organ. Oh God.
Hey, who knows? Maybe we'll see Bail Organa.
She shows
Rebels,
up
the
like that out of
Mandalorian
nowhere.
There was a few out there that I was like, oh, these. But it's so funny now. We can actually see some of these.
No,
Well-
what's funny is that we put Maul at number 1, and that seems to be they're setting up the character. There's a
Yeah.
lot of fanfare behind it, including that April Fool's joke. That
Yeah,
we talked
definitely.
About. But
Well,
yeah,
there's also like people were saying about the whole speculation of Maul being in charge of creating the basis of what becomes the Knights of Ren.
Well, and Maul is probably currently, to me right now, the most interesting character in the Star Wars universe. And think about all these questions that Star Wars needs to answer eventually. Like,
Yeah.
what's going on with Luke?
Oh,
Now this Darth Maul thing. Where's Ahsoka gonna be? You know,
Well, there's a
what's gonna
lot that
happen
needs to be answered.
with Ezra? Like all
we're gonna
these
find out that Rey's last name is Tano.
what?
Rey Tano.
Oh my
Ray Maul.
God.
Ray Maul,
Ray
yeah.
Maul.
But I think, and I'm also hearing rumors that we're gonna get Han Solo in season 3 of Rebels.
Ooh,
I've
jeez.
heard that. I mean, we've already seen Chewbacca
Yeah,
early
that's
on.
true.
We've seen Lando.
That's true.
Yeah.
So and we've seen Princess Leia.
Well, I think it's the smuggler culture in Star Wars is going to be a very important part of Rogue One,
which
right?
you think could
Yeah.
tie in,
which is
pretty-
about bounty hunters and smugglers trying to.
and
get
maybe
to
they'll
the-
get the voice of the new actor that's going to play him to voice him in Rebels.
Ooh,
That could be
to bring that
could
whole
be.
level of continuity.
So
the
keep
whole
an
way through.
eye on the credits for voice
Yeah,
actors in the future.
seriously.
I have to go
There
back
could
and
be-
actually find out who did the voice for Darth Vader or Annie inside of Darth Vader's.
Oh yeah,
thing.
That's what I'm saying.
No,
That's
like
why
you
I thought-
said,
that's why I thought
if
it was
anyone
Matt
can,
Lancer.
at least put it down in the
Yeah.
comments. It would help us a
I'm
lot.
fairly certain it was Matt Lancer. My
You're
guess
sure?
is Matt Lancer.
Yeah.
I mean,
He goes for Matt Lancer.
he's never not taken the Anakin job before. So
That's true. I mean, he
assume
loves it.
Yeah.
He loves to love it, though. So
Listen, if I was him too, I'd love it.
dude, it's
I
a
mean,
place in my heart. I'd say. So it makes sense.
But I also think that in just leading up to where we're going with episode 8, I mean, and it's crazy because this is tying around everywhere.
Right.
But we're leading up to episode 8. I think we're gonna get a lot of Ezra turning.
Yeah.
Well, you know what was interesting also, like Darth Maul mentioned that, the temple will only respond to either Sith or those that think like Sith.
Well-
and how, remember, Ezra was, when they were looking at the old writing, it's in Old Tongue, that's what Ahsoka said. Ezra just leans in and touches it, it responds immediately to Ezra.
Well, Ezra
So
has
that
always
was great.
come from a place, you know, a Jedi's supposed to be groomed as a much younger child. You're supposed to be this youngling where they can take away things that you're passionate and care about so that you can have this clean, Jedi life devoid of extreme passions and desires and things like that, which was always Anakin's fault. It was almost
Right.
Luke's fault. Ezra is so passionately driven. We saw it in several episodes, because his parents died when the episode where he was taking control of those big creatures. He was going way deeper than he should have.
That's
we
right.
see these strong powers that are coming from not from training but from passion, and that's Sith.
That's very true. That's very true.
That's
The
Sith
motion.
way.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, like, and you saw Maul was making sure to exploit it in every bit. Oh, allow the passion, allow the
exploit
hate, allow the pain, and go ahead and let that fuel you. And it was like, and Ezra was like listening. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna do it every way.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. I agree with you.
I mean, the holocron can only be opened by Sith, and he opened the holocron.
He did, and
That's so
man.
interesting. But you have to also assume that he's taking a different road than Anakin did.
Very, very much so.
And he's I think he's gonna wipe out that whole team.
I think it might come to that. I mean, he might become more like a Mace.
Well, and
Windu
then-
guy who also dabbled.
But
in the
that's
dark
why-
side. Who knows?
True.
Yeah, and that's why I think that, and possibly this is speculation. Episode 8, I think that his group and Benicio del Toro went on record in saying, they said, "Are you playing a villain?" And he said, "I don't consider myself to be a villain."
But others do.
Right.
But others
But
do.
others do.
And I think this is going to be the same thing. Like I think that his mindset
Makes
is
so much sense.
Yeah, it does.
It makes
It's-
just from what we know. Like we
God,
know
man.
that he read sides that said Ezra, and we know that he's playing a villain that's most likely conflicted, not truly a villain, but more of a conflicted character. It makes a lot of sense. And the rumor was that he was Ezra. Now we're seeing the fact that Ezra is possibly turning. It really sets it up. It fits.
And depending on where
Timeline
you
fits.
stand in the Star Wars universe, you look at him as a hero, a villain, or an anti-hero. So
okay.
I think it's going to be a polarizing
Yeah.
character that people are going to be like, I really like this guy, I hate this guy, or he's just a badass dude.
Yeah.
Jeez. So, but it sounds like across the board, people will somehow be able to relate to him in some
Well,
part of his
they'll have
journey,
some emotion to him for sure,
right?
Yeah.
definitely.
Man.
And who knows? Maybe he's going to try to seduce Rey to go to his side of the Force.
Okay.
Could be interesting. though.
Ray's in that same exact boat
That's what
where
I was-
she's
that-
learning late in life.
Well,
Where she's fighting from a place
here's
of
the thing.
untrained passion.
And,
Yeah,
and
sure.
the one thing that surprised me about episode 7, no, I don't know about surprise, but when she had Kylo,
Yeah.
and if that ground hadn't split apart, I think she was going to strike him down.
Oh,
she very
was.
well
She
could have.
was.
But that was that was significant. I don't, according to what things I've read, that ground separating was the divide of the dark and the light. That
right.
was signifying the divide of the dark and light. She was on one side. He was a. You need a teacher.
God, man, just
You
talking
sound
about
just
this
like
stuff.
him. Oh my God, you do. You sound just like him right there.
So, I'm working on my Kylo.
That was it.
Keep
That was
him
it.
hair long.
Oh, yeah. See, I like it. But with that, I mean, is there anything else that you guys want to make sure to tell people? Parting shots.
Parting shots. Watch the fucking episode. It's the best series on TV right now.
Wait, I
unfortunately.
didn't catch up on all of Clone Wars. Does it end better than Clone Wars? Does that have a better ending than any of the season finales of Clone Wars?
In my opinion, this is the strongest animated ending I've seen in a long time. I have to revisit Clone Wars. It's been 3 or 4 years. But yeah.
Well, now are you saying Clone Wars or the Clone Wars that finished up on Netflix? Which
Okay.
I mean, is there a separation for you?
The ending of season 2 Rebels follows the original story arc of the original trilogy. It ends like Empire.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
end
it
like
does.
Empire.
Yeah, it
That's a
does.
good point.
That's right.
I didn't think
That's
about
true.
that. It really does.
Yeah.
That's true. Okay.
That's
fine.
actually real. That actually is really true. Maybe
So
they
we
are only
might-
going 3 seasons.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, man, the ending
You
was
like
amazing.
mic dropped us right
Yeah,
there.
right? It's like, there's nothing else to say right there. That's
You need
it.
a teacher.
Well, that's it. Goodbye, guys. I don't know what else to say. I don't know.
You're cutting that in, right?
Yeah.
Somewhere. Okay,
And that's it.
Is that more? And that's enough covered.
Yeah,
ground.
I think we-
How
It
long?
was like another 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Joe, thank you, Ro. I appreciate you guys being here. And you guys can always catch up with everything that we're talking about. And please comment below. If there are parts that we forgot to go ahead and mention, talk about, comment, because I'll be holding these guys in my own special Sith temple.
I will
So they'll be
guarantee also.
responding
I
all
will
week.
guarantee also. I think Chopper's going to be in Rogue One. No joke. I really do think Chopper will be in Rogue One.
Yeah,
Seriously.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for Rogue One spoilers possibly coming up on that hashtag show too.
Yeah, we got
There you
that.
go. And remember, you guys can catch up with us. You guys want to make a hashtag for this week?
Hashtag Ezra returns.
Hashtag stabbed in the face.
Either one will work. Make either one of those trend. Stay tuned for this channel on that hashtag show to keep up to everything trending in geek pop culture. I'm Daniel. That's Ro. That's Joe. It's been great. And remember, every great host has an even better sign off. Chopper sucks.